Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What up?
What's up, everybody? We live, and welcome to Laugh Therapy, where we elevate your mood and your mental one laugh at a time. I'm your host and your favorite comedian, Joe King. And today's subject, since it is Mother's Day weekend, y'all already know we had to bring in the one, the only, the amazing person who works the most amazing. Me, you feel me? Yeah. That with my mommy today. I'm super excited. I'm excited for everyone, but I'm super excited specifically about this conversation. Conversation we need to have with our parents. I feel like we need to sit there with people because we've only known them in common, right? So I'm really excited about this. Super excited about my mommy. Of course, my beautiful co-host.
JD, aka Sunshine.
I with my mommy on this episode. So, how we doing? Add a shot. Relax from your day work. Let's get into it, y'all. You see the greatest mommy in the whole world. Yeah, mama is on my. Nicole,
Hello.
Hey.
Look it up. Take it in, y'all.
Take it in. Y'all see where she got it from. Y'all see it. I know y'all see it.
Y'all see it.
Looking good, Mama. Looking good, Mama.
Thank you,
Glad to
thank
have
you.
you here today. Yes.
We can get right to the service.
You are going in and out from me. I
Yeah,
didn't hear
you are.
baby.
Oh, are you nervous?
No, actually, I'm feeling pretty good.
I love it.
Good.
I'm excited. So we are going to get started. I don't want to zoom out of it.
I got it. I got you.
Is it me? I need to zoom out.
No. You're good. So, Mama, tell me this. How do you think your upbringing differs from your daughters, and how has that influenced you guys' relationship?
Oh, actually, it's something really, something I made a real significant attempt to make different is I had to help raise my sister because my mom was a single mom, so she worked like 16 hours a day. So I had to help with my sister. I made sure Jordan didn't have to do that. Jordan's head was in the clouds, literally in the clouds. So she kind of really, and there's a 10-year age gap between her and her siblings. So she really had that first part of her childhood to herself. She had that only kid syndrome in this house. In her dad's house, there was a bunch of kids, but in my house, it was just her for the first 10 years. So even once I had more kids, you can't convince her she wasn't the only child for forever.
Now, at some point in this conversation, we're going to have to talk about the red lipstick on the white couch. I want to hear your perspective of it because, your daughter's perspective is completely different. Can I get you to lower your camera? There we go. So we can see all of your beauty right in there.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Before we start.
I'm telling you, Princess, your voice is going in and out for me. Jess is good and stable, but yours is going in and out just for me.
I wonder why.
That'll probably help if you had it on like a desk or something. Sometimes the sound can mess up like that.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Mama, so tell me this. How did you navigate career choices when you were balancing your work with family life when Jordan was growing up?
I actually picked that question because it was also one of the ones I saw that's a misconception that I had when I was younger. I thought that I had to pick my career according to the fact that I had a child so young. So I changed my career choice because I had a child. So I only picked jobs and stuff that would allow me to be home with her in the evenings and things like that. I didn't want anybody else to have access to her. So I worked a job for a period of time towards the evening that my parents could help me with her. And then after a while, I didn't even like that. So I picked a job that would allow me to be home in the evenings. I changed all of those choices. Yep.
So what would have been the difference if you would have waited to have Jordan? What would have been the difference in your career choice?
You'd be surprised, Jess. I actually wanted to be a JAG officer. I
What?
wanted to, yeah. I wanted to go into the military, do the whole NCIS thing. I just knew I was going to do the law thing, and you can't handle the truth. I just knew I was going to figure out all the stuff. Yep.
Why? I feel like in our DNA, too many of us have wanted to go into like activism or
Yep.
law or some type of justice, like upbringing.
Yep.
You probably even got me when I would talk to her. She would say something about, well, when I was younger, I had kids, I had to do this and I had to do that, but I wanted to be a singer or a lawyer. Those are the only two things.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is up with us in the law?
Wait, could you see your mom being a lawyer?
Is that what you wanted to be? I thought you said you wanted to be like
JAG officer, sorry.
I went the whole, but see, I had the whole law. I did the courts. That's why I did college for kids and did the whole arguing before the courts and everything. And then I went on into the military route to do the JAG officer because they showed me how I could cross that over. And then I was not leaving Jordan. So I said, no, and I wouldn't do it. So I left all of that, law school, JAG officer, all of that. But yeah, that's the route I wanted to go. She even brought a recruiter to show it to me after Jordan got here and was like, I'll keep Jordan, go ahead. And I was like,
Wait, she offered to keep your child?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She really wanted you to do it.
right.
No, but she wanted me to sign Jordan over. And I wasn't gonna do that.
Nah.
So yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Did you think about it after the red lipstick on the couch?
I really did. I was ready to just drop her off. Just drop her off. Just drop her off.
Oh,
papers
man.
needed.
Okay, so what advice would you give to us about motherhood that you wish someone had given to you?
That you don't have to let go of yourself like that. You do not. I do not regret the route of maintaining staying at home with Jordan, but I also understand that I did not have to stop being Nicole. I could have still pushed forward with me. And I've told Jordan probably a few years ago, I did not, it wasn't Jordan that stopped me from pursuing myself. I gave up on me when I became a mother. So for a period of time, I gave up on being Nicole because I thought I had to just be a mother. And during my time frame of being raised, that often was told. Once you become a mother, you're a mother first. That's it. Let go of everything else until you finish being a mother, and then you can be that after you complete being a mother.
See, but is motherhood ever really over? Because
Right.
I know at my grown age, my mama's still mama-ing.
Right. So that's why you see so many women never ever find themselves.
Huh.
You know what? I believe with all of the mothers that we know, I believe that wholeheartedly a lot of mothers feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have space or capacity for all of that, my hopes and my dreams and all of that. I need to be everything I can be for this child. Not knowing if they elevated themselves, that would help the child as well.
Or they feel it's too late or whatever. And it's not the child's fault, and it's not really their fault. Again, a period of time, that was really what was relayed,
Mm-hmm.
that you really had to do one or the other. It was even relayed in school. You pregnant? Oh, that's it then. You only can do this. That's it. So once you became pregnant, then you needed to focus on this. Now, I will admit that my family never said life was over for me. Nobody ever told me that. My mother never said, "You pregnant, life's over." Nobody ever said that. It's just that once I became pregnant, I wanted to prove to everyone that since I chose that route, she wasn't going to pay for that choice. You see, so no one ever told me that. I was blessed to be in a family that never said, "That's it for you,"
Yeah.
but in my mind, I had to prove that because I made that choice, that she wasn't going to pay for that decision.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off script just a little bit because I'm curious because they say every child you have, they have a different parent in the same body. What do you think the difference is between your parenting Jordan and your parenting Lincoln, which is all the listeners listening is her youngest child?
Freedom.
Ooh.
Freedom. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I can just parent Lincoln. I'm not raising Lincoln for anyone but for Lincoln.
Ooh.
And I was raising Jordan to prove. I said this for Isaiah a long time ago when Isaiah was a teenager. I raised Jordan to not mess her up. I raised Jordan to prove to everyone and make sure Jordan did not become a teenage mom. Let me not make her be a teenage mom like I was. So I raised her on the offense, like, ooh, let me make sure, instead of enjoying and just let me see what she can become. I raised Isaiah, Elijah, Lincoln, and let me see what you can become. Let's see.
I
You see
love
what I
that.
mean?
I love that. I love that.
Okay. So there was a difference in that because there was no handcuffs. I'm not shackled to anything. I don't have to prove anything with that.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference in that. So with Lincoln, I can just enjoy it and say, Lincoln, I have grace. I can give myself grace and I can give her grace, and I don't have to be perfect. But with Jordan, no one told me I had to be perfect, but I told myself perfection was what was needed. I
And you
wasn't
didn't know what
perfect.
firecracker you was creating.
Right.
I was gonna say
Right.
I was the most rebellious
She
out of all of
insisted.
them too.
That was why she was that. My sister and I discussed that because I convinced myself I had to be perfect. God gave me someone who let me know I was never going to be perfect. He gave me someone who let me know, yeah, you're not going to get that. Mm-mm, nope, you're not going to get that.
I do what
Yep,
I want, drill sergeant.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
Now, one question I do have for you, babe. From your perspective, what is the parenting difference between you and Lincoln?
I think that was worded really, really well with the freedom of it. I felt like there was a lot more no's for me, but not no's like you can't be something no's. It was no's like you can't do this. And there weren't real reasons for why I couldn't do it because the reason I couldn't do it was because of how it looked to another generation and it wasn't explained to me that way. So to me, it was just a no because I said no, and that was never a good enough answer for me. So
It's still not. It's still not, y'all.
no needs an explanation because I don't get it. All. So now you can even explain why you gave it to me. But when I give it, it's a solid. But anyway, I would say the major difference. Whereas my brothers and my sisters got explanations. One, because when I grew up, it was a lot of I don't explain myself to a child, but also I don't think that they could explain it because of that logic of it
Because
was
it
a
was never explained.
or this grandmother or whatever. It was nothing to be explained to me at 6 years old. So yeah, I think my brothers and sisters have more freedom to question things like that. I was the first one that was, whew. I mean, in my parents' defense, they didn't have kids. I was the first one. I was being raised by people that had never had kids.
Exactly.
I was the trial. But yeah,
Well, I would say you did a great job,
and
Mom.
amazing.
You did a great job.
I
So
I didn't let her get braids a certain length,
Mhm.
right? And I'm not quite sure why. I'm assuming it's adult, like womanish, because I remember the word womanish being growing up. And so I had a certain length for Lincoln to a certain age and certain length. And now I refuse past your bud and all that. That's ridiculous. I don't understand why they do that. But she wanted them to the top of her butt. And I said, no. She's like, why? Because
Mhm.
girl, go ahead, just get them.
Right. Well, why?
and I started thinking about it and I realized I didn't know why. I was like, well, why do you want them? Can you tell me why? And she told me why, and she had it, and she said everything. And when she gave me a solid reason, what she was looking at, what she wanted, I said, okay. And I gave it to her. So Jordan was like, oh, is this what we doing now? And the one
Hating.
me and my husband talk about it now. I more so want Lincoln to give me a reason on what she's doing. I don't want to follow her. I don't want her coming and telling me she wants something because her friends want it or because a group of kids or because it's a fad. If you're telling me that this is something and you are expressing yourself, I like that I have such expressive kids. I like that they have the ability to tell me what it is that they like, what that they don't like, what they don't want. I like that they're telling me this now before they leave the house and go out into the world. And so now that I'm okay with that, instead of feeling like I have to explain myself to an elder, because that's how I felt with when I was with Jordan, that I had to explain myself as a parent. I had to free myself of realizing that as a parent, I don't have to do that.
I hope y'all listening, parents.
Yes, Lord.
Now, okay, I'm sorry, we're gonna go off a track one more time. What would you say is like one of the biggest differences between parenting a child and an adult child? You took a deep breath.
An adult child, you cannot. I mean, it's on them. What can Michelle say? You can't do it. You can't raise them. That is just going to be. It's up to them. It's their decision. All you can do is give them the information, and it's very hard. I have 4 adult children now. Adult children. Well, they are adults and they are my children. And I talk to them. All I can do, I tell my youngest adult child just the other day, you're an adult. I can tell you no about something. That's really just my opinion. The final response is going to be yours. The only one who's had that figured out is Jordan. But the thing about that is,
But
the
I
only
also
one who also understands the consequence is hers also. Okay. So as long as you understand that yes and no is yours, then the adulting part is okay. If you're not going to listen to me and you want me to help you cover that consequence, then you're not really an adult.
Ooh. And
Mhm.
let that one breathe a little bit. Let that one breathe a little bit. I heard that. Okay. So, what values or traditions from your upbringing do you think is important to pass down to your children for future generations?
One that all four of my adult children, I repeat, one that all four of my adult children are very bad at right now. And that is checking on each other on a consistent basis.
Oh.
I want to know that if me and my husband are not around, that all of them are good. I do not have all these stretch marks to for my kids to ever feel alone. It is five of them on this planet, and they should not ever have to be alone. So I want to know that they each check on each other. And then they have first cousins that they should each check on each other at some point. So not only are they poor at it, their cousins are also. And they should check on that because we, as adults and adult first cousins, are good at it. And we have each other covered, and they don't. So they need to make sure that they get that under wraps.
That is a beautiful lesson, and I think that's a lesson me and my family are learning at this point in time, and we're enacting it, and it just takes effort, right? Me and my sister have always been close, but now that I've moved to Las Vegas, we're even closer. I don't know how that became a thing, but now invoking the closeness and pulling all of like my cousins in on the relationship and us checking on each other and making sure we good, we straight, and over the past what was it, like 2 months, babe, almost every day I'm on the phone with a cousin, my sister, or somebody for
Yep.
hours. So
You
I
got to
think
do it.
I
Love how
think that's a. What'd you say?
I said I just said the other day I love how close y'all are becoming because I woke up and y'all were already on the phone and I was like, what the
Mhm.
is
Yep.
11?
Got to do it.
Yeah, and it just takes effort, you know. Picking up the phone. It don't even got to be a phone call. It can just be a text message. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that is a very important lesson. What about you, babe? Because you are a mother, and what is something that you would want to pass down to the boys? Well, the kids. Uh-oh.
I would say the hello?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I would say the same. You know that I make it a point when it comes to the boys to make sure that they know that they have each other. At the end of the day, they have each other. That's your brother. That's your best friend. And I would say, like, I got that instilled to me by my mom and also by my grandmother, who said, family of everything is always, no matter what decision you have to make, it should be for in the face of the family, um, of your family or whatnot. Stick with your family, basically. So I think with the boys, I think that that's definitely one that I pass down. Like, no matter what happens, y'all have your siblings, you have your cousins. You'll bring Dakota, their
Mhm.
cousins have, like, you got to make
Boy,
sure.
they love them some Dakota boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I feel the same. That's one that I can say that she did successfully pass that at least through me. It's very important to
Okay. Mama, what do you wish you had known about life or yourself when you were our age?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I just learned it
her.
is
We love
that the
you.
decisions that I was making at your age were not my own decisions.
Mm.
I was making decisions based on decisions on how my parents would have made that decision,
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
based on what I would have really wanted it to be. Let me explain. There was some trauma that they carried that was never explained to me. And because of that, I carried that trauma on. And so in my 30s, and I've explained that to you now, Pumpkin, in my 30s, I was making decisions based on a hurt little girl because of some parents that made decisions back then. So I
Mhm.
had no idea. And then when I discussed it and they told me, oh, this is what was happening. I'm sorry. I didn't even know that this is what was going on. Then I realized I was making decisions in my 30s based on how you made decisions in your 30s. I wouldn't have even made decisions like that. But I didn't figure it out till literally this birthday
Oh,
when I sat
really?
down and discussed with my father and he told me what was going
Hmm.
on, and I'm like, wow. I a lot of times, if you know what was going on in your parents' life, you would make different decisions just because you understand that the baggage you were carrying wasn't even your own.
Oh, say that again, girl. Say it
Yeah,
again, girl. Burr, burr,
you
burr, burr.
sometimes you are carrying baggage that's not even your own, and you make decisions based on that baggage. So I made decisions based on that, and those weren't even my decisions.
How did you discern that those weren't your decisions or your baggage?
It was point blank told to me. We
Oh.
sat there discussing, and I
Hmm.
told my dad, I was like, "This is how I've been feeling." And it actually, I did a group session, and we were discussing feelings, and I was like, "Where did these feelings come from?" So I went back and talked to my dad about them, and he was like, "I know where they came from."
Mm.
And we went back and we discussed it. And when we discussed it, he said, I'm sorry. This had to do with when me and my mom, and that had nothing to do with you. I'm sorry. I was carrying that because of when my mom passed, I was upset. And he told me. And I was like, and it had everything to do with value. Everything to do with value. And a lot of times women make decisions based on their value, right?
Ooh.
And so if you have a better value in yourself at the time, you'll make a different decision. So my value at the time in myself was low because I
Ah.
had no idea that I was even making a decision based on a value placed on where my dad had that value. I thought it had something to do with me and didn't have anything to do with me. And it took him just saying, it had nothing to do with you. Your value has always been up here. I've never not chosen you, but in your eyes, I chose something else. And because of that, you made choices from a place down here instead of up here. And so I told Jordan, I said, anytime you feel like you're down low, you're making decisions from a vibration of where I was at that age. So now you can know it had nothing to do with you. It was where I was because of my dad, but I've already broken it now because Paw has already told me, and now I've broken it. So now you no longer have to worry about that. That has already been cut. That value has already been reinstated, and you've already known what that is. But if I would have known that at 33, where she is, different decisions would have been made. Pivotal decisions, actually.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay, Jordan, I'm gonna ask you one thing.
Mm.
If you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, because you were already into motherhood by then, what would it be?
My 20-year-old self, divorce that. Yeah.
Be
Annul
honest
that
with you, I don't
marriage.
know that you would have married that man.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got married right before turning 20. I got married 3
Mhm.
days before I turned 20. So I would have told 20-year-old me to annul the ring.
Annulment.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have told myself that. But I also would have told myself to do it for myself. I was doing a lot of things to prove to a lot of people that
Mm.
I was who I said I was. And instead of just going and becoming the person and the version of myself that I saw in my head, that was traveling the world and that was touching all of these people and enjoying life instead of just going and becoming her. I was working so hard day to day to prove to people that I was like either already her or I don't really know what I was trying to convince people that I was doing, but I was doing it bad. I was broke and doing it very poorly. But in my mind, I knew I was somebody. I knew I was supposed to be this star. And 20-year-old me felt like because some other people felt like I couldn't do it and I wasn't there yet, I started to doubt myself. So I started moving accordingly. I started doing things that showed that I was out and I was second guessing myself and I wasn't working toward the things that I wanted. I was working toward the things that I needed to do because then I found out I was pregnant by the man I should have married. So it was, I would tell 20-year-old me to do it for me and to annul that. All the stuff that you tell me get ready to do, go do it then. Go do it. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Mama. So, what were your thoughts and feelings when Jordan left home to start her own life? I want to hear this one.
I feel like I left so many times.
The
Which one?
the first time or the first time when she went off to school, it was, did I do enough?
Mm.
Is she ready? Which I think is any parent, you know, sending your kid to a whole nother state. Did I do enough and is she ready? Jordan is head in the clouds. And so I never had a doubt in my mind that Jordan could survive. And she's a hustler, but she's a head in the clouds type of, is she paying attention?
Mm.
And that was my thing at 17 when she graduated, 18 going off to college, is she paying attention in another state? I kept Jordan's world very small. I was very protective over Jordan. So her world was very small. And so we were like, she would hum and walk and do. That was literally Jordan's world. And so my thing was, is she paying attention? Are they going to treat her right? Or is she watching who's behind her?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. We tell you, and I think we told you that we rolled up slowly behind Jordan while Jordan was walking down the street and she hums to herself and she never knew we were behind her.
That's legend.
And
That's
we
legend.
rolled up to her slowly in a car. And for anybody listening who says this is horrible of us, this tough parenting,
Gotta
just
get them
over it.
ready. Gotta get them ready.
Be like, she all right. She right there. We rolled up and my husband honked the horn as loud as he could. And Jordan hopped onto the hood. And then she jumped off, turned around and looked at us and her little limbs started trembling and she started crying. And my husband was like, now what is that? Was a stranger. You kidnapped. And he was mad.
Gone forever.
He's like, what are you doing? You never even noticed that we literally followed you like half a block. You never noticed. And she's standing there crying and trembling because she was scared. Okay, granted that
don't honk.
Right. You know, so
Not a much crap. You just pulled up and what kind of luck is this?
So that was my thing. And at that point, when we did that to her, she very much was a teenager. She was not a little kid when we did that to her. So I was very much thinking, was she prepared? Was she ready to be in a whole nother state? But outside of that, I was ready. Yeah, that was it.
And it's funny because I was just having this discussion with my best friend AZ or Jeanette. I hope she's listening. Happy birthday, Jeanette. But it's because she keeps her daughter in a bubble as well, so she's not privy to a lot of the outside forces, right? And I think it's a fine line. You want to give them the game, but you don't want them to be in the game. Kind of.
Right.
You want them to be aware and privy, but you don't want them to have to experience it. So I think
Right.
it's a fine line when you want to put your kids in that bubble, in that safeness.
Right. Because I mean, all of my kids, Dewan said I had Jordan a little too much looking at people like they might be possible serial killers, but I had to have her ready. She needed to see the red flags.
On a hotel, and my friend was laughing at me. Somebody started yelling help at one of the pools, and my friend was like, "I think somebody needs." I said, "Boy, if you don't go to your room, we don't know what's somebody. If they need help, somebody will help them. It's a setup. Somebody trying to get you.
It's a setup.
You get
They
robbed.
trying to take you away. Mm-mm.
Robbed. It's a police conviction. Somebody will help her." But turns out somebody was still her person. It wasn't.
See?
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, went over there, big old black talking about, so how can I help? Yeah, nope, nope. I was like, I'm going to my room. I watch Lifetime. My mommy told me. She told me watch.
Mm-mm. Told you, pay attention, watch the shows, look for the red signs. No,
You'd have ran over there. Like, somebody, you were over
no.
here.
Mm-mm.
Find out first.
Yeah, that's how I felt with that. I've actually loved Jordan's free spirit in that way because I've never been a free spirit in that. I've always been the guarded sibling. I'm the oldest. I've always have been the guarded one. I've always had to be the one that looked both ways for across the street, hold both of the little kids' hands, so that's always been me. So I've always lived kind of vicariously through her in that way, but also had to be very nervous and pray extra for her,
Oh, I
take a
know I be
couple of extra
stressing my mama
pills.
out too, boy. I know I be stressing my mama out,
Mm,
especially in my
I don't
20s.
I don't even understand. What's so crazy is you see the gray. I take blood pressure medicine and I have migraines, and they will call me with a straight face and say, "Why are you stressing? I don't even understand why you just
Wrong
won't
with you?
relax. What is wrong?"
I
All
told
that,
my mama that yesterday.
yeah. All that soda. It's got to be soda.
It's you got a lot of salt in your diet or something?
It's crazy.
I
'Cause
told my mama that yesterday. Oh goodness.
And I
Oh,
had a
I'm
nerve to be
sorry.
concerned. Had a nerve to
I'm
be concerned too.
I'm
Look concerned.
sorry, mama. If you listening, I'm sorry.
That's why I chuckle when Legacy come in. I'll be like,
Ooh, that
yeah.
boy.
And when
Ooh.
Dakota walk in, talking about maybe I had a good day, maybe I didn't. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Oh, okay. So what were some of the most difficult decisions you had to make as a parent, and how did you approach them?
Whew. The most difficult decision for me to date for Jordan
Mm.
was allowing her to go stay at her dad's, um, to let her see for herself. She created one of the things I told myself I would never do as a mother was speak negatively about her dad. Every little girl deserves to have the picture of dad being Superman. So I said, if he's ever going to be anything other than Superman, it's going to be because he showed her he
Shoulder.
wasn't.
Yep.
So he was Superman. I'd just be like, yeah, he couldn't make it today. I don't know what. So that does shoot you in your foot when they become preteen teen. Because if he's Superman, then you must be the problem.
Mm.
And it turned on you then, because then she's looking at me like she got an attitude with me and I'm ready to choke her, because then she wants to roll her eyes at me because I'm the one that's not doing the best, and I'm trying to, I'm doing paycheck to paycheck to make it happen, and he want to
When I
drop
could be at
$30
Superman
off every so
house.
often,
When
right?
I could be at
You know,
Superman house.
and I'm looking like, are you serious? This man literally is not giving me nothing. But so she started, her logic was, well, if you not gonna do what I want, I'm gonna really lash out, and I'm gonna cut up in school to where they're going to put you in the system with the courts. So they started messing with me with the courts, like, truant officers, we gonna start charging you. So I'm like,
Girl,
okay,
you was bad.
all right, she don't want to stay at school now, so you're gonna have to come in this. And so then the police want to tell me, we got to put her in. She write a let. Oh no, she gets put. I say, come get her. I can't. They gonna put me. They gonna charge me every day she don't go to school. It was like $300 a day. And so we move her. That hurt my heart to move her and let her stay there. And she went and stayed there. She got that realization really quick. So what happens? She turned around and cut up and she ends up getting, he don't want to deal with it. And he put her out quicker than I even got a chance to sit still. I'm like, he gave up
You ain't
quicker.
even make it home yet. Come get this girl.
She couldn't get along with the girlfriend, and he was like, she don't get along with my girlfriend. I'm like, are you serious? You choose a girlfriend over the, okay. So she came back. So then not only did I have to deal with a broken teenager now, so that was just a very painful time frame and hard decisions that I had to make. So yeah, to date, that was the hardest to deal with, because that was a 16-year-old that was not easy to deal with.
I think a lot of single mothers go through that moment. Because my mom sent me to live with my dad for a summer. She thought I was doing something I wasn't. I was being honest with her. So I had a guy best friend at one point in high school. And he was legit just my best friend. And we were awkward together. Like, we were in our awkward teenage stage. So we like Dragon Ball Z and play basketball. And we just literally just hung out. So during the summer when my mom's at work, I'm at home by myself, I'd tell my best friend to come over. And I'm telling mom, hey, Casey's going to come over. We're going to hang out. And I was telling her every day. And I guess she thought something else was going on. And then just one day she was like, I can't take this anymore. I'm sending you to your dad's. And I went over my dad's, and come to find out, his best friend lived 5 minutes from my dad. So he just would come visit me over there. But he was legit just my best friend. And I know that was a hard decision for my mom to make too. So it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's hard.
Mine was, girl. I was just outside. I didn't feel like the school. I had moved school, so I moved school so much. I went to a different school, and I felt like every year or every 2 years. And then I got to that school. I didn't like that school. That school was teaching me stuff that I had learned 2 years prior. I was like, this don't make no sense. I'm not coming here no more.
So we just
made
not gonna go to
friends.
school at all? That was your logic?
I made friends, and I would walk to the school, meet my friends. We would walk to the bus stop, and we would literally go anywhere else we wanted to go in the city. We was doing on the job training of the city. I was like, they ain't teaching nothing in this school.
You see them gray hairs in your mama head? That's you. That's you.
When people calling you at work, talking about, I saw Jordan walking down Walton.
Yo. Yeah.
I'm like,
I was going to Pilates.
Oh,
was-
you
it
look
was
so
stressful.
defeated.
I was so defeated, girl. It was so stressful. They would call me. I would pick her up, and they would say stuff like, and this was elementary school. They would tell me, Jordan said that she was going to commit suicide, and I would say, oh my God, Jordan's going to commit. No, she not. Jordan love herself too much to be committed. What are you talking about? I go in there and say, Jordan, did you tell her that you were going to commit suicide? I just wanted 2 recesses. Jordan, that is a very serious thing to say.
That's where Legend
She was
got that
like,
stuff from.
she was like, I just wanted two recesses, and they said that when you say that, they have to put you in grief counseling to talk to you, and they talk to you here outside. And here I am, the young parent that got to go and talk to a therapist because, of course, I don't know how to parent. I'm the young parent, so I need help being a parent.
Shout out to my best friend because her daughter did something very similar to get out of a test.
See, I wonder why.
Golly.
You gotta do what you do.
But wait, you have to tell. Okay, while we got you here, I want to hear, because the way Jordan tells the story is funny, but I want to hear your perspective of the elementary story where you told Jordan not to give anybody her real name.
I did not.
Me, give me my name. She said
To
like 2 days
strangers.
before that, she told me what happens at home stays at home, and not to tell anybody my business.
Yeah.
I
Look at
don't
your
know.
mama face.
I said something to somebody that I wasn't supposed to say, so she told me not to tell anybody my business. And then she took me to a brand new school, and I didn't know that white. She asked me my name. What happened? I didn't tell her my
I don't
business.
want to hear your version. I want to hear your mama version.
She did not tell the teacher her real name, but I still don't know how the teacher did not. Don't they take roll?
Yeah.
So how she managed to convince a teacher and have a whole class call her Boom Shika Jones, I don't know. But to have a teacher call my house and ask for the parents of Boom Shika Jones, and as a Black mother, you know I was upset because I want to know who the hell Boom Shika Jones is. When I named my child Jordan, I took great lengths to name my child a nice name, Jordan De'Aaron Park, so that when she became a professional later, she'd have a nice name. And they're going to come and ask me for Boom Shika Jones. And then what the lady says that my daughter tells her real name is Boom Shika. And I'm like, did you see that on the roll? Did you see that in attendance? Was that on the attendance book? And I asked Jordan, why did you tell the teacher that your name was Boom Shika Jones? And this child with a straight face tells me, I like to trick the white people.
I never heard that part of the story.
And now look at me. 6-year-old me knew that I was gonna be a comedian because I still like tricking white people. Look at
Wait,
this.
wait. What did they tell you when you pulled up to the school to pick up Boom Chic?
That
What it was.
That's what it was.
She asked for
That was her response in front of the teacher. I like to trick the white people,
Oh my gosh.
with me standing there to pick her up.
Oh. My cousin asked, how did you spell Boom Shika Jones?
It wasn't my job. It was her job to teach me how to spell it.
Yeah, she didn't know how to spell it yet. She's
Right.
6.
I was sick.
Yeah,
Well, my job to
because this is the same child in the Baptist. Because I worked hard. Remember, I told y'all I was trying to prove that I could be a good mother. So I was working hard to put her in a Baptist Christian private school. I worked hard to pay that tuition to put her, to get her a better chance at life, Boom Shika, to have a better chance at life. So she was in a school of predominantly all white people. All of them were white, for her to share with them that she likes to trick the white people. She also decided to rap the scriptures
I remember you telling us that story too.
in front of all of the people in the church.
they needed some culture. That was my fault.
Oh
I was
goodness.
helping.
Okay, so we got about 5 minutes left, and I want you to spend a good portion of this giving us advice about life.
Live it.
That's important.
You got to be here.
Yep. To the fullest, though. Don't take yourself too seriously. Give yourself grace. Live it for yourself, though, when I say to the fullest. And live it unapologetic. So that way, when you are at the end, you can smile and say that you actually left an impact. That's what I would say. You won't look back and wish that you did some things, wish that you impacted some people. No, live to the fullest, love hard, and be impactful.
I love that. I love that.
That too.
Now let me ask you this. Would you rather, when you get to the age of, okay, I need to either be in a senior living community or I need to be at one of y'all's houses, y'all gonna
Don't
have
y'all
a
let
guest
me
house for me?
live. Don't y'all let me live in no nursing home, and don't y'all let me be sitting somewhere chewing for no reason. Don't be letting me sit around chewing for no reason. Put some gum in my mouth or something.
We not allow. We will not allow it. And my mama ain't
Don't
going
allow
to.
me.
Wait, now let me ask you this. Who house would you want to live at?
You know what?
Well, we all kind of collectively voted Lincoln, but we also don't know
Lincoln's,
what kind of house she gonna live in. We gotta let her get established and together.
yeah.
But we voted on Lincoln.
That's what y'all vote. I want to know where your mama want to live.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
Well, we gotta wait to see who's gonna be able to, who's established and when at that point. But it probably is gonna be Lincoln. Lincoln gonna be the one that's gonna probably be the one that wants to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah say, just tell him where to send the money, and then he'll take, and Lincoln will be the one that take it.
Very often and sends you what it is that you need, but that's the day-to-day stuff. That's gonna be Lincoln. That's Lincoln. We voted.
It's
With my
funny.
traveling schedule, Monkey's traveling schedule, we not really sure what Poppy gonna be yet, but he gonna be it and he gonna be good at it. We gonna be busy, mama, but we love you.
Y'all better take care of me. Don't put me in
Lincoln
no
ain't gonna be
home.
busy.
No, Lincoln gonna have a job that allows her to make sure that mom's good at the house.
All I know is don't put me in no home, and don't let me chew or wander around aimlessly. Don't let me chew for no reason or wander around aimlessly. That's all I'm saying.
Won't do you like that. We won't do you.
That's it.
I have
Pull your dad's pants up. That's it.
to wake up and you stay naked in the kitchen or something. Don't do us like that. We got you though. Mama! Just stand.
That's all I'm saying. Shoot.
When my grandmother got older and she got sick, my grandmother had 11 children, and 8 of them lived in the same city. So one of my aunts had her Monday through Friday, and then all the other aunts would take her every weekend, so my aunt could have the weekends off. Maybe that's how y'all gonna have to do.
Do it. Keep
We
you
can do
busy.
that.
They Tristan said she's gonna keep Ain't Shotzi, because ain't nobody gonna want to deal with her crazy stuff.
I
But
can
we
see
laugh.
A Shotzi cussing everybody out.
She said she just want a house with a porch. But because Dewan's grandmother had Alzheimer runs in the family, and she took off in their motorized big
Scooter.
man's motorized car. No, the actual Tonka trucks, the car. She took off and they saw her riding down the road. She beep beep and she took off with it, and they had to catch her on that little thing. So don't let me do that either.
We got a
I
list
will.
of things. We got a
Right.
list of things.
What
Oh man, this conversation has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time,
I
Mama.
had
We
fun.
appreciate you.
I had fun. Thank you.
Babe, you want to close us out?
I I will. Thank you guys for tuning in to Laugh Therapy. You guys know you can catch us here every week at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Central. You guys can follow me at King Me Comedy on social media platforms. Babe, tell them your social media one more time.
JSD Sunshine 4 on
And
all platforms.
for all of our listeners who happen to be in San Antonio, Texas, I do have a comedy show on Friday at Upstage Comedy Lounge at 10 p.m. Get your tickets because I'm finna cut up. Happy Mother's
Whoop,
Day,
whoop.
everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye.
Bye.